So this TikToker is now in prison for life. So let's call her Fake Barbie, because that's what she calls herself. And Fake Barbie is 24, and she's a mom living in Bristol in England. And one day, she decides she's gonna start an OF account and start working from home, selling spicy pictures and videos of herself. And she does it under the name Fake Barbie. And about a year goes by, and Fake Barbie does alright in her first year. Like, she makes about £50,000, or about 65,000 US dollars. But as time goes on, the OF space gets more and more saturated, and Fake Barbie's OF income decreases more and more. And now she just isn't bringing in the money that she used to. And this drop in income is stressful for Fake Barbie. I mean, nobody wants to feel that. Now, Fake Barbie has a long-term boyfriend. This guy, Brad. And Brad's 22. And he and Fake Barbie, they've been together for like 7 years or so. They have 3 kids together. And Brad is not only supportive about her spicy account, but he actually helps her make the content. He's like, yo, let's get that bag, girl. Here's the thing though. As stable as all this sounds, Fake Barbie and Brad haven't always had the healthiest relationship. I mean, they fight all the time. They sort of break up a lot and then they get back together a lot. And often Fake Barbie feels like Brad is very controlling, especially with the money she's been making on the OF. Plus, they're both allegedly cheating on one another all the time. So, you know, that's never good. Not only that, but she has a TikTok account. And on that TikTok account, she mostly posts videos of her and her kids, but sometimes she makes videos clowning Brad publicly. Me with his homeboy when I find out he cheats. Played the Tinder notification and he passed, obviously. And she puts the knife emoji. So yeah, Fake Barbie is not only a little nutty, but she has serious anger issues. And it's not like she's hiding these issues that well. Listen to this voicemail she left on a friend's phone talking about Brad.
Obviously, I have no limit when I get angry. And obviously he said that I need help with that. Because people are generally saying to me, one of you are going to end up dead. And I fully believe that I'm quite capable of killing him if he hurts me again, or I'm gonna end up being in prison.
Now, I know this isn't gonna shock you at all, but their fights do escalate to violence sometimes. Sometimes she gets mad and beats Brad up when he upsets her, or if she feels like he's lying to her. In fact, at more than one point, Fake Barbie gets upset at Brad and she stabs him, one time in the arm and another time in the leg. So yeah, these two are not good together, and she's just like a time bomb waiting to explode.
But I don't believe a word that comes out of that boy's mouth. I have to beat the living daylights out of him for him to tell me the truth, and he still don't tell me the truth. He only tells me the truth when he thinks I'm gonna kill him. Like when I get a knife out, like when I stab him.
She seems nice. And so anyway, at this point, it's 2022, and they've been in this terrible relationship for years. And they got 3 kids, so they're trying to make it work, maybe for the kids, but it's obvious that this just isn't a healthy relationship. And finally, Brad has had enough. One day, he invites Fake Barbie to meet him at a local park, and once they're there, he finally does it. He tells her, I don't want to be with you anymore. And I'm sure this sucks for her, no one likes to be broken up with, but this is gonna be the best thing for him. Here's the weird thing though. When Fake Barbie hears this, she doesn't really react. She doesn't get mad and freak out and attack him like she normally would. She just says something like, alright. Which is really strange for her because generally she's such an angry, violent person. But maybe this isn't that big a deal to her. Maybe she's gonna just be chill and this breakup will be amicable and everyone will move on and be happy. Until that same night, they make plans to go out together. I mean, they sort of still live together, and I assume they still have the same circle of friends, so they agree to meet up with these friends at a local bar. And Fake Barbie, she gets to the bar first. And for whatever reason, she brought her 3 kids with her. And so she's there at this bar full of people with her kids and with some of her and Brad's friends, and Fake Barbie starts drinking. A lot. A whole bottle of wine and a bunch of other drinks, and at some point in the night she even goes to the restroom and she does a bit of Coca-Cola, and so she is super wasted. And about 2 hours later, Brad finally shows up to the bar, and he's late. And fake Barbie immediately gets belligerent with him, and she starts acting like an asshole, and she's yelling at him and cussing at him, and she accuses him of being late because he's out sleeping with other women as if they didn't just break up, and she throws a drink in his face, and she slaps and punches him repeatedly in front of the whole bar and in front of her 3 kids. And so then one of their friends tries to intervene, and she ends up spitting in his face. Then a random patron tries to intervene, and she ends up slapping him and spitting on him too, and the random patron ends up shoving her. Like, it's just a whole mess. Now, at this point, I don't know if she gets kicked out or they all just decide to leave because she's being such a nightmare, but whatever, they all leave the bar. And a friend drives fake Barbie and Brad and their 3 kids home. And Brad, he must know something is gonna go down because he tells his buddy who's driving, "I'm dead when I get home." And so they get back to their apartment, and Brad, unfortunately, ends up being right. Because right after they walk in and put their kids to bed, she starts going off. She's yelling at him and berating him. I guess she was expecting him to fist fight the random bar patron who shoved her, as if she didn't start that whole incident. Regardless, they start arguing, and it's getting heated, really heated, and she starts pushing him, and I think he pushes her back. Then she storms off, and she goes into the kitchen, and on the counter is a large kitchen knife. So she grabs it, and she walks back over to Brad, and she's wielding it, and she's trying to scare him with it, and she's threatening to use it. And remember, she's really drunk, and she's really pissed off. And then suddenly, bam, she stabs Brad right in his chest. And immediately, she realizes what she's done, and she knows it's bad, and she starts panicking. And to make it worse, that's when she looks over, and she sees her 3-year-old son standing at the bottom of the stairs. He saw the whole thing. And now eventually a neighbor hears all the screaming coming from fake Barbie's apartment, and she calls 999. And so paramedics show up and police show up, and it's a whole scene. And they rush Brad to the hospital, and unfortunately, he doesn't make it. He dies in the hospital from his wound. And fake Barbie, wanting to keep herself out of trouble, she comes up with this whole story claiming, "I didn't stab him, he stabbed himself," and a bunch of other bullshit excuses, and she actually ends up changing her story a lot. Well, luckily, police don't buy it, especially after they talk to fake Barbie's 3-year-old son, who straight up tells them, "Mommy stabbed Daddy." And so immediately, bam, they arrest her. Here's her mugshot. And ultimately, she goes to trial, and she's found guilty of murder, and she gets sentenced to life in prison. And thank you to Leonardo.ai for sponsoring this video. If you want to make badass art for your videos like this, or like this, or like this, then sign up for Leonardo.ai.